Hello, and thanks for joining us today on our Chairman's Chat, or as we'd like to call it, Between Two Flags. And we're excited to have with us Anthony Loubet. I mean, one of the most exciting things about being the chair is that I get to sort of sit down and get to know some of our candidates. And this year, we have got some really, really outstanding candidates that we're excited about. And one in particular is Anthony Loubet, who is with us here today.
Thank you, Dan.
And thanks for being here. We appreciate this. This is
Well, I appreciate it too.
a lot
Thank
of fun. And you've been up to your neck in campaigning
Yes.
and meeting people and that whole thing. And so I'm glad you could take a break from that for a few moments, come in here to the party headquarters, talk with us for a few minutes, and sort of give us an idea of who you are. So just for starters, give us your background really quick. What do you do for a living? What have you done up until now that you feel can help you, skills that can help you as you start representing your area in the House of Representatives?
Sure. So my background, should I look at you or the camera?
You can look at me.
I'll look at
and
you.
then exactly. And
Okay.
what I neglected to say is you're running for the House of Representatives,
Yes.
District
22.
22, and that is what area of the Valley? Explain
So
really
it'll
quick.
be Magna, Copperton, the west side of Kearns, and West Valley.
Okay.
So that western bench area
Okay.
of Salt Lake County.
Perfect. And so you can look. I know I'm not much to look at, but let's do it anyway. So yeah, tell a little bit about your background so that people can get to know you.
Yeah, great. So my background is I graduated law school at BYU Law. I then clerked at the district court level for Judge Davis, and then I clerked for two judges after that, Judge
Lynn
Judge
Davis.
That's right.
I know Judge Day. He just retired, actually.
He is retiring.
Oh, he's retiring.
Yes,
Okay.
end of this year.
That's big news because I think was he the longest sitting judge in the state or something like that?
He was second, but he may be
second.
first now. He knows. I haven't talked to him since.
I saw him about a year ago, and I thought he said he was the longest sitting, but
He may have.
maybe that was just him the wink and the
That's
nod.
true.
But that's a really cool experience. I mean,
Yes.
Clerking for a judge is kind of one of the best experiences you can have as a lawyer.
Oh yeah, and it's great to just see how the process works, how they look through, how they apply the law, how they read statutes. So it's a wonderful opportunity. I was really blessed both with working with Judge Davis and then later with Judge McDade and Judge Pullen. Both of them were really good. And all of them have different styles, so it's really a nice experience. I then was able to clerk at the Court of Appeals for a period of time. I
That
worked
was here, the State Court of Appeals? Great.
Yep, here at the State Court of
Good.
Appeals. I worked with Brady Brammer for a little bit, Representative Brady Brammer. So actually, when I was working with him, he was running for his seat. So I got a little taste.
You've seen what this is like.
A little bit, yes. I got to see the stress that he was under, and now I'm personally living it. So.
And so you're practicing law right now? Or
Yes.
What's your... Okay.
So now I'm with the Utah County Attorney's Office. I'm in their civil division. So I work with them. I draft contracts. I read through statutes, ordinances. I counsel the board, different boards and departments. And I also deal a lot with like the property taxes and finances.
That's great.
So
What's funny is most people probably think that the House of Representatives and the Senate is just chock full of lawyers. It really isn't.
right.
There are hardly any lawyers in the House of Representatives, and I don't know if I can think of any offhand who've actually clerked for a judge. And so, anyway, that's a phenomenal skill that you would bring to the House, and it's nice to have someone who can read, draft, and understand statutes, and can look through a bill that's being proposed, look at the language, and then say, hey, that actually doesn't mean what you think it does. I mean, this is, because that does happen all the time where someone will think that. But so let's go to the campaign. As you've been kind of going through this whole process, how have you, like as a party, we've had to adapt to COVID. As a dad, you've had to adapt to COVID.
Yes.
As a candidate who's running to be elected, how have you adapted your campaign that you've run? Because it's clearly not the one you thought you were signing up for, right? And then all of a sudden now you're doing something totally different. So what does that look like? Walk us through that.
Well, I think what helps out in some ways, this is my first foray into running for an office. So I don't know better, right?
Good.
This is my first
I love it.
opportunity. So
The people who make the biggest change in this world are the ones who weren't informed that they can't do what they just did, right?
Exactly.
So I love that.
The other part is, I've reached out to different candidates to get advice, and a lot of them are struggling too to find out different ways, because you get people that some people are just anti-mask. They don't care about wearing the mask. But then you have the other side where people want to make sure that they keep respectful distances. They're keeping masks on and stuff like that. And so you want to be respectful of everybody when you're talking to them, because the real important thing is you want to know what the issues are. What are they concerned about? And so you don't want that to be what prevents you from being able to have a conversation. And so we've kind of been creative. We've done a lot more of things online with Facebook, Instagram. I've done stuff on the website. We're doing door-to-door respectfully initially with the masks on and hand sanitizers at the ready. So that way we could still get out there and people can have a personal conversation with us.
And when you do that, can I ask do you see themes as you're talking to people? Because when I was running, there would always be, I was always amazed how I'd talk to 100 people and the same 2 or 3 issues would come up again and again and again. Do you see that as well in your area?
Yeah. The 2 themes that I've seen come up quite a bit. One is education, I think, just because of the timeliness of it right now. School has just started. There's a lot of people holding their breath, wanting to see what happens. Right?
Sure.
And so there's a lot of discussion about, wearing masks at school, whether that's good or bad, the current schedule. So there's a lot of feelings about this, of what should not be happening that we've been able to talk about. There's also the attitude that a lot of people had plans for starting their business, right? And with COVID happening, you have a lot of small business owners or just startups that are struggling because of the added dynamic. Shutting down. And so it's a tough time. I've had some great conversations, and a lot of it too has just been figuring out, seeing what I could do to help, and then seeing who I know that might be able to help them out in their situation.
That's great. Well, and that's kind of the issue that's on everyone's mind right now is what does it look like as we recover? And we've got an uphill battle, but that's this next year in the legislature, you're going to see this again and again and again. And we've had special session all year long, and it's because of this issue. And so I'm glad that you have a legal background that can help you, because that's also going to be something that comes into play in terms of how do we shape the laws to accommodate all these changes that we've sort of had. So here's just kind of a out-of-the-box question. Is there anything that surprised you in running for office? You probably had an idea of what it would look like, feel like, that whole process. What surprised you? What jumped out as being not what you would have expected?
I think just how friendly and collegial the other representatives are, because
the ones currently serving in the House,
and even some former ones, and the ones that are coming in, that it's very much that they know what it's like to go and run a race, and they are very empathetic, and they know the stress that is on the candidates and the environment currently, what that's having an effect on, and they're very supportive. They're providing a lot of advice, willing to help make phone calls and reach out to me and see how I'm doing and provide advice at this time. So that has been a pleasant surprise.
That's great. Well, and there is a level of collegiality in the House that, you've seen this, and few people really know this. Most people think that they're up there just fighting each other, and Democrats and Republicans doing this, not understanding that for the most part, everyone gets along. Right. And they sit down, they can have civil conversations. And I think it's great that you've seen that help, because it is a little bit stressful. When you run a race. You're sticking your neck out there for everyone to take a whack at you. And I remember when I ran the first time, it was a little unnerving. You feel like you're kind of in a fishbowl. There were things I didn't like and things I did like. For instance, what have you liked about it?
I've really enjoyed getting out there and meeting people and being able to have conversations. I'm a talker. I love hearing people's stories. And of course, I love being able to go and help them find solutions. That's part of the reason why I got into law, and especially my area of law, where I'm looking for solutions to help the everyday person.
It's not every lawyer is the help everyday person kind of lawyer. So
that's true.
Listen, I'm a lawyer too, so we can poke our own profession, because there are those who aren't like you and I, but But anyway, that's that's great, because that's what the best representatives do, is they basically spend time solving problems.
Right.
And as you've probably seen, you have people that'll call you all the time and say, hey, here's an issue that I have with, pick the state agency or state law. What can I do? Help me. And as a representative, it's a tremendous responsibility and power to say, hey, I can I can do something about that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a phenomenal kind of thing. So of those things, if you kind of had to pick one or two big issues as you're going into this coming year, what would it be? What would you like to tackle, kind of as you begin your term as a member of the House? I mean, what are the issues that you're passionate about?
So my platform, most of the issues that I'm focused on for my area are education, improvement to the infrastructure in our area, in our district, and also taxes. I mean, that's another issue that's going to be coming up again, and trying to figure out how we're going to pay for things. And
Sure.
so I feel like with my background, I was a tax preparer for over 12 years, and so I'm very familiar with tax law. I also have an undergrad in business management, so I'm very familiar with those types of discussions and the different avenues to pay for things, and so I feel
Sure.
like I can help add another voice to that. But the other issue that
And can I add something about infrastructure?
go ahead.
I've done a number of these chairman's chat interviews with members, people who are running, and it's not often that I hear someone talk about the infrastructure of their particular House district. So that's a unique issue, obviously, to you. I mean, you've got Copperton, Magna, Kearns, and one other,
West Valley.
and part of West Valley.
Yeah.
And so the fact that you have seen that, and that's one of your issues. I mean, I hope the people of that area, they're paying attention, because they need someone who understands that. Because not every representative either A, recognizes that, or B, makes that one of their platforms. So that's
Right.
really unique, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, there's a lot of discussion that happens when we're trying to figure out how money is allocated to different big projects like that. And we have a lot of needs, a lot of growth that's going to be happening in Salt Lake County on that west side.
Sure.
And my area is going to be a big player. I mean, West Valley still has lots of area that's undeveloped. Magna is going through a lot of growth right now with newer homes. And so we want to make sure that we are looking at a big picture in the state level,
Yeah.
and also at the same time reaching out to our local officials, right? Making sure there's a relationship between me, county elected officials, city or metro township elected officials, so that way as we're making these plans, we can work together.
I think, yeah. Otherwise, it just doesn't happen.
Right.
I mean, people don't realize that just because you're a member of the House doesn't mean you can get anything done. You've also got to build relationships. And so people are electing someone not just to keep the seat warm, but to be effective.
Right.
And not every representative is equally effective. And that's something I hope that people are listening to and understand. And so one of the hardest things when I was campaigning was when someone would say to me, okay, why should I vote for you? So we got to wrap up now. We've only got like a minute left. And this is always hard for me, because I'm like, okay, do you have an hour? I can tell you in an hour, what,
Yeah.
but I don't know what to say in 30 seconds. Can you give it a shot in like 30 to 40 seconds? If someone says to you, hey, I'm running out the door, I got 30 seconds. Why should I vote for Anthony Loubet? What is it about you that makes you the most qualified person? What would you say?
Well, thank you for this. I would say that I really care about my district and the people in it. And I have a knowledge and expertise to help fight for the issues that are important to our area. I want to know what it is that is a concern for the people in my area, and I want to be a voice for that up at the House.
Fantastic. And you will be very effective. And that's one of the reasons, as the state party chair, I'm really excited that you're the person that the Republicans have selected to represent us. You've been running a great campaign, and we hope that everyone who is watching will vote for Anthony Loubet. And hopefully this gave you a chance to get to know him as I've gotten to know him. And we will continue to work with you and wish the best of luck.
Great.
So thank you for being here, and thank you for
Thank you, Derek.
watching us today.